The U.S. men's national team is back in action this September, and Gregg Berhalter will announce very soon his first roster ever since his return as the U.S. men's national team head coach was announced. So, how many players will he bring? Who will he bring? Is he still in love with Aaron Long? Do ETs exist? What if Disney never bought Star Wars? Okay, we're getting off track here. And there are plenty of tough questions throughout humanity, which we simply cannot go through all of them here today. But I can maybe do it on another video, or probably not, because this is a soccer channel. Today what we're going to do is we're going to try to predict Gregg Berhalter's first roster since he returned. The September roster, the U.S. men's national team September roster. Sorry, I'm repeating myself. Hi, I'm your Filippo, and welcome to Tactical Manager TV, and welcome to our roster prediction video. So the United States will play Oman and Uzbekistan this September. Both of them will be friendlies. Since it's just 2 games for this specific video, I'm going to assume that Berhalter will only bring a 23-man roster. Now, why are we playing 2 national teams that have never made it to the World Cup and don't have a single player I can name? It's probably to give Gregg Berhalter a soft landing. That's the only explanation. Let me know in the comment section down below. Without using Google, do you know any player from Oman or Uzbekistan? Don't lie to me. Okay, and drop a like to help a brother out. And you know what? Let's just do it. Okay, so as I said, it'll be a 23-man roster, in my opinion, okay? We don't know. Berhalter hasn't said anything. With that said, I think he will bring 3 goalkeepers. Who are they? So for the goalkeeping position, I think he'll bring Matt Turner from Nottingham Forest. That to me is a no-brainer. He is our starter. The other 2, I expect it to be Drake Callender from Inter Miami and Gabriel Sonina from UPenn. He's on a loan from Chelsea. Now, you may be asking, why isn't Zach Steffen there, Ethan Horvath? They could be. It's just that it's kind of hard to figure it out right now. Zach Steffen and Ethan Horvath, at the time of this recording, are still figuring out their club situation. Now, by the time camp comes up, or even the roster call-up, they'll probably have that figured out, but I don't have that information in data. So Drake Callender did make the Nations League roster, so he could be there. And Gabriel Sonina is playing in Belgium, so maybe he'll just bring him in as a 3rd goalkeeper for experience. But I don't really think that really matters, because out of the 180 minutes available, Matt Turner should play 180 minutes. Now for this 23-man roster, how many center backs do I think Gregg Berhalter will bring? And I think he's going to bring 4. Who are they? And I think they will be Tim Ream from Fulham, Walker Zimmerman from Nashville, one of Gregg's favorites, so he'll probably be there, Chris Richards from Crystal Palace, and Cameron Carter-Vickers from Celtic. So listen, I could see him replacing Chris Richards or Carter-Vickers for Miles Robinson. I just don't see how Walker Zimmerman or Tim Ream do not make it. 1, because Tim Ream is our best center back, and Zimmerman, he's one of Berhalter's favorites, and to be fair, Zimmerman has been decent to fairly good for Nashville in the Leagues Cup, so there's no way Berhalter's going to leave Zimmerman out. Miles Robinson had a very underwhelming summer with the United States when he played in the Gold Cup. So it's in between those, right? Zimmerman and Tim Ream will be there. Then I think he will bring Richards and Carter-Vickers. Carter-Vickers went to the World Cup and played well when he played against Iran. And Chris Richards was absolutely fantastic in the Nations League. So I think those 2 will be it. But I could see him replacing one of those 2 for Miles Robinson. Outside of that, the other players, Mark McKenzie, Palmer Brown, Austin Trusty, I don't think they will make this roster unless we have some injuries, which at the time of this recording, we do not. Based off the names I mentioned. There's other injuries. But that's it for the center backs. Let's go to the fullbacks, which I also think is going to bring 4 fullbacks. Who are they? I think he's going to bring Serginho Dest from technically Barcelona, but not really. He's not really a Barcelona player anymore. At the time it's recording, we don't know what team Dest is heading to, but it's most certainly not Barcelona. The other one is Joe Scally from Borussia Mönchengladbach, which I learned how to say their name last season. DeAndre Yedlin, which is Messi's teammate. Yeah. Yedlin will be there. Trust me. He's Messi's teammate, so why not? Also, you're going to say, well, why 3 right backs? Why is Gregg bringing 3 right backs? He brought 4 to the World Cup. Shaq Moore, Dest, Scally, and Yedlin. He brought 4. Why wouldn't he bring 3? He loves himself a right back. Plus, the backup left back just doesn't exist. It's Dest or Scally at this point, or maybe even Yedlin. But yeah, the other fullback that he's going to bring is going to be A-Rob from Fulham. That's our best left back. And that's pretty much it. Dest, Scally, Yedlin, and A-Rob. Sure, some of you might mention Brian Reynolds, but he failed to impress during the summer, so I doubt he makes it. And that goes also for the left backs during the summer and other left backs that we had in the past, like Sam Vines, Dejuan Jones, Token, George Bello. None of them will be there in my personal opinion. And as I said, bringing 3 right backs is pretty damn common when it comes to Gregg Berhalter. I still can't believe this guy brought 4 right backs to the World Cup, and one of them was Shaq Moore. Why? Now we're off to the midfielders, and for the midfielders, I think Berhalter will bring 5 midfielders. And they are Yunus Musa from AC Milan, Weston McKennie from Juventus, Luca De La Torre from Celta de Vigo, Johnny Cardoso that has been very good for Internacional. I know a lot of you don't watch the Brazilian league at all, but Johnny has been very good in South America. Hopefully he gets a transfer very soon. And then the 5th midfielder, in my opinion, will be Kellen Acosta. And I know many of you thought that the Kellen Acosta era has ended after he wasn't called in at all during the summer, but I doubt it ended, especially with the return of Berhalter, and especially considering that Tyler Adams is still injured and won't be available. And yes, if you don't know, Kellen Acosta plays for LAFC in Major League Soccer. A couple other names that you can see floating around are Malik Tillman from PSV. Maybe he'll be there, but I'm not sure. We need to see him get minutes at the Eredivisie before Berhalter calls him up. I'm okay with Tillman being there, but I don't think Greg will bring him. Jordi Mihailovic, James Sands, Tanner Tessman. These are a few names that you could see there. And then you might be wondering, where's Gio Reyna? Well, I don't want to cause drama, and I don't think that Berhalter and Reyna will be an issue in terms of, not getting along. I think Greg will call up Reyna when he can, but Gio Reyna is still injured for Dortmund. He's not available to play, and camp is very close, right? We're like 2 or 3 weeks away. He probably won't get any minutes for Dortmund until then. If he is half fit, I would probably try to bring him to camp just to try to get the relationship to not be as messy as it is expected to be. But I don't think Gio will be in this camp. Hopefully the October camp when we play Ghana and Germany. But for this one, Gio should be out because he's injured. I hope it's because he's injured. Because, look, there's no way Gregg Berhalter leaves a healthy Gio Reyna outside of a 23-man roster. He has to bring Gio, right? Also, keep in mind, I know I only have 5 midfielders here, but Brendan Aronson, that will be one of the wingers, he can also play as a central midfielder, as he did in the Nations League final against Canada. So with that said, let's just go to the wingers. So for the wingers, I believe he's going to bring 4 players. And I already told you one, Brendan Aronson. Who are the other ones? Christian Pulisic, if healthy, is a no-brainer, the new AC Milan winger. Timothy Weah from Juventus, that plays more as a wingback nowadays for his club, but he's a winger for the United States. Brendan Aronson from Union Berlin. And then number 4, Jordan Morris. No, I'm not trolling. I think he'll bring Jordan Morris from the Seattle Sounders. I'm not doing this for your reaction. I'm not doing this to lie to you. I think it could happen. Because see it this way. Taylor Booth is injured. He's out. Gio Reyna, injured. He's out. He's another player that can play on the wing. Alejandro Zendejas has been extremely disappointing. So he could be out. Who does that leave us with? We could bring a young prospect like Kevin Paredes, but does that sound like something Gregg Berhalter would do? It seems like Berhalter would be leaning more towards a Jordan Morris, a Roldan, or Areola. And out of those 3, I think Jordan Morris is the most likely one to get called in. I could be wrong, but seriously, let me know in the comment section below. Would it surprise you if Jordan Morris made this roster? It wouldn't surprise me. Lastly, we have the center forwards, and I think he's going to bring 3 of them. And no, just to make one thing clear right away, I don't believe Berhalter will bring Jesus. And understand, that's not Berhalter attacking Christianity at all. That's not what I think he's doing. Let me explain. The 3 center forwards that I think he'll bring one is a no-brainer. It's Floating Balogun. At the time of this recording, he's still with Arsenal, but we know he's going to leave to Monaco, Inter Milan, one team. Balogun's our best center forward. He will be there. The other one will be Ricardo Pepi. I think Ricardo Pepi will be back. He had a good season in the Eredivisie. He also was very good in the Nations League, scored against Mexico. Pepi will be back. The third center forward, I think will be Josh Sargent or Haji Wright. Now, I can't give you a logical explanation to why Berhalter will leave Jesus out because it's one of his favorites. I can say that Sargent and Haji Wright are probably better players. Actually, not probably. They're better than Jesus Ferreira. So that would be the normal pick, right? That would be the ideal pick. Could Gregg go and bring Jesus? Sure, because, you know, he has his favorites, but I think he's going to leave Jesus out of this camp. He'll probably bring Sargent or Haji Wright. And in the World Cup, he did start Sargent over Jesus for every single game that Sargent was available until he got injured. And in the World Cup, he made the mistake of not calling in Pepe, and he didn't have Balogun available to himself. So I think those are the top three for Berhalter, and Jesus will be out as long as the three names that I mentioned are healthy. Could be wishful thinking, but I think it'll happen. All right, everyone, thank you very much for watching. Let me know, what do you agree with me? Do you think my predictions will be accurate? Usually, I only get one or two players wrong, so for the most part, it might be. But this one's very tricky because we haven't had a previous roster from Gregg Berhalter. The last one we had was in the World Cup, so I might get more wrong on this one. We'll see. Time will tell. Thank you very much for watching. Drop a like before you go. Have a great day.